Spiritual ascension doesn't just change your energy, it changes your entire life. From the moment it begins to manifest within you, nothing is the same again. Suddenly, things that once seemed normal no longer make the same sense, and routines you once followed almost automatically begin to feel like puzzle pieces that no longer fit. This process is so profound that it transforms you from the inside out, and although many have heard about spiritual ascension, few truly understand the magnitude of what it means to go through it. When someone hears the word ascension, the first thing that comes to mind are the most familiar symptoms: changes in sleep, surges of energy, strange physical sensations, or a heightened awareness of one's surroundings. However, what is rarely mentioned are the hidden effects, those that don't appear in manuals or superficial talks, but that truly make a difference on your path. That's where the mystery lies, in those silent details that become tests, challenges, and, at the same time, gifts for your evolution. This silence surrounding the deeper effects is no coincidence. Spiritual ascension is not an experience that can be fully understood in words because it touches two intimate fibers, two profound aspects of consciousness. Many go through them in secret, unaware that they are part of a natural process that others have also gone through. And without that understanding, they may feel that something is wrong, that perhaps they are missing out, or that their awakening is a mistake. But the truth is quite the opposite. These effects are confirmation that you are making progress. That's why this message is so important, because here you'll discover 6 powerful effects of spiritual ascension that almost no one tells you about. Effects that, although they may sometimes seem disconcerting, are designed to take you to a much higher level of consciousness. Understanding them is the key to not fearing them, but rather harnessing them as stepping stones toward your personal and spiritual growth. And every time you recognize one of them in your life, you'll know that the universe is guiding you toward your ultimate expansion. Imagine for a moment that your life is a house lit only by small lamps. Suddenly, spiritual ascension ignites a sun within you. That light exposes everything, the beautiful, the uncomfortable, what deserves to remain, and what must be transformed. The process can be overwhelming because it confronts you with truths you've never wanted to look at. But at the same time, it offers you the opportunity to be reborn stronger, more conscious, and more connected to the divine. It is in that tension between mystery and clarity that true transformation begins. What you will learn on this journey is that ascension is not linear. It's not about feeling elevated every day or constantly having magical experiences. There will be calm moments and stormy ones, days when you feel like you're going backward and others when you feel like you're soaring. This apparent contradiction is part of the design, because spiritual ascension is not meant to give you comfort, but to mold your soul until you remember who you are at your core. Every jolt is, in reality, an act of love from the universe toward you. As we progress through this topic together, I will reveal to you, one by one, these 6 effects that often go unnoticed but hold enormous transformative power. You may discover that you are already experiencing them without having recognized them, or perhaps you will prepare to recognize them when they arrive. The important thing is to know that you are not alone, that what you are feeling has a purpose, and that your spirit is exactly where it should be at this moment. Stay until the end, because the final effect is the most powerful and can completely transform your outlook on life. It will be like placing the final piece of a puzzle that until now seemed incomplete, and when you understand it, you will look at your process with new eyes, filled with certainty, confidence, and, above all, with the strength of knowing that spiritual ascension is not a mystery that overwhelms you, but a gift that propels you to become the best version of yourself. One of the first effects to appear in the process of spiritual ascension is energetic hypersensitivity. Suddenly, what previously went unnoticed becomes impossible to ignore. Charged environments, the emotions of others, and even the vibrations of certain places begin to feel like invisible currents coursing through your body and mind. What once seemed normal is now experienced with overwhelming intensity, as if all your senses had awakened at the same time, forcing you to perceive what was previously hidden. This sensitivity can be disconcerting because it doesn't always come with clear explanations. You might walk into a place and feel a weight on your chest without knowing. Or you might talk to someone and detect emotions in their voice that they haven't even expressed with words. It's as if your antennas are always on, picking up frequencies you didn't notice before. This doesn't mean something's wrong with you. It means your consciousness has expanded and you're now able to read the world with greater clarity and depth. Energetic hypersensitivity, however, is not an easy gift to bear. At first, it can feel like a burden, as if you're absorbing other people's pain, worries that aren't yours, or tensions you can't explain. It's normal to feel exhausted, drained, or even anxious when in crowded places or surrounded by people with dense energies. This is where many begin to doubt their process, believing something has gone wrong. But the truth is that this effect is an essential part of Ascension. Your energetic field expands so you can recognize the invisible. The key is learning to manage this new sensitivity without collapsing. First, you need to accept that perceiving more is not a curse, but a tool. This intensity shows you what is out of harmony and, at the same time, what vibrates in coherence. One of the keys is the daily practice of energetic cleansing. Deep breathing, salt baths, light visualizations, or even the simple habit of walking barefoot on the earth are ways to release what doesn't belong to you and regain your balance. Another important aspect is establishing clear energetic boundaries. It's not about rejecting the world or shutting yourself away, but rather learning to protect your inner space. Visualizing a field of golden light around you every time you leave the house, or repeating protective affirmations are simple rituals that strengthen your vibration. Over time, you'll learn to distinguish between what's yours and what belongs to others, avoiding burdening yourself with responsibilities that aren't yours. Hypersensitivity also brings with it a gift, the ability to recognize where your soul feels at peace and where it doesn't. This will help you make wiser decisions, choose your surroundings more effectively, and surround yourself with people whose energy nourishes rather than drains. Far from being a weakness, this sensitivity becomes a spiritual radar that guides you toward what is aligned with your evolution. And the more you learn to trust it, the clearer your path will become. If you've ever felt like you're perceiving more than normal, share it in the comments. You'd never know how many people are experiencing the same thing and believe they're weird or that something is wrong with them. Sharing your experience can be the reminder someone needs to know they're not alone in this process. That connection between seekers is part of the purpose of Ascension, to help each other understand and sustain the journey. Ultimately, energetic hypersensitivity is a powerful effect that opens doors to a deeper understanding of yourself and the world. Yes, it can be difficult at first, but it also confirms that your spirit is at a higher level of perception. Learning to manage it will not only prevent you from feeling overwhelmed, but will also allow you to live more wisely, trusting that invisible compass that awakens within you. What seems like a burden today will become one of your greatest spiritual strengths tomorrow. One of the most powerful, yet disconcerting effects of spiritual ascension is the detachment from material things. Suddenly, what once seemed so important begins to lose its hold on your life. The objects, possessions, social appearances, and even external goals that once defined you no longer hold the same weight. It's as if a veil falls away, revealing that much of what you were pursuing isn't true to your essence, but rather an illusion constructed by external expectations and social conditioning. This detachment doesn't mean that you stop valuing material things or that you give up everything you own. It's not about living in lack, but rather recognizing that material things can't fill the emptiness of the soul. At this point in the process, you begin to look at your belongings, your achievements, and even your lifestyle with different eyes. You discover that none of this can define you because your true value lies not in what you have, but in who you are. It's a radical shift in perspective that often surprises and frightens, but in reality brings immense freedom. The need for authenticity emerges strongly. You begin to question whether what you do, what you consume, or even the way you live is aligned with your inner truth. You may lose interest in competing, demonstrating, or accumulating because you realize that these were never the source of your fulfillment. Instead, a desire for simpler, more meaningful experiences arises. A moment of connection with nature, a sincere conversation, an act of love. True. These things which once seemed small now become your true wealth. This effect can also lead to drastic changes in your life. You may feel the need to simplify your environment, get rid of things that no longer resonate with you, change jobs, or even rethink your larger goals. Many people going through Ascension find that their old career no longer fulfills them, or that the lifestyle they were pursuing no longer resonates with their soul. This process of detachment can be uncomfortable, but it is a necessary purification to make space for what truly matters. The most liberating thing about this shift is that you no longer feel the pressure to appear. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. External recognition is no longer a goal because you understand that true authenticity doesn't require approval. That inner peace that comes from letting go of seeking validation is one of the greatest gifts of spiritual ascension. You discover that you are enough just as you are, and that your life doesn't need superficial trappings to shine brightly. Help us reach more people with this message. Subscribe, like, and share the changes you've experienced in your spiritual journey. Each story is a seed that can inspire someone else to let go of what no longer serves them and embrace their authenticity. By sharing, you not only heal your own journey, but you also help other seekers recognize that they are not alone on this path of transformation. Detachment from material things is ultimately a gateway to true abundance. Because when you no longer need to cling to external things to feel fulfilled, you discover that the essential was always within you, and it is there that you find a richness that nothing and no one can take away from you, the authenticity of your spirit. This is the true prosperity born of ascension, a prosperity not measured in possessions, but in the peace and coherence of living in alignment with your soul. One of the most profound and at the same time most painful effects of spiritual ascension is the restructuring of relationships. As your consciousness expands and your vibration shifts, the way you relate to those around you inevitably changes as well. People who were once central to your life may begin to drift away, some quietly and others abruptly. This withdrawal may feel like a loss, but it's actually a natural reconfiguration. The universe removes what no longer resonates with you to make room for what is aligned with your new level of consciousness. This process isn't easy to accept. You may wonder why someone you love so much no longer seems to understand you, or why a long-standing friendship loses strength and eventually fades away. However, what happens isn't rejection or punishment, but a vibrational adjustment. When you shift frequencies, not everyone can join you on that leap. Some people simply complete their cycle in your life and must follow their own path. Accepting this truth requires courage because it means letting go of what you knew and opening yourself to the unknown, trusting that every relationship has a sacred time of beginning and ending. The truth is that spiritual ascension clearly reveals which bonds were based on genuine love and which on dependence, fear, or habit. Relationships that once seemed solid show deep cracks, while others that perhaps seem secondary begin to strengthen. It's as if an inner light illuminates the hidden dynamics, forcing you to discern between what nourishes your soul and what drains it. And in this discernment, the great lesson emerges: you cannot advance while burdened with bonds that hinder your evolution. The pain of letting go is real, but so is the reward of making room for new, aligned connections. When you let go with love, life responds by bringing people who vibrate on your same frequency, who understand your process, and who accompany you without judgment. These new connections don't come by chance. They come as a response to your inner transformation. They are companions the universe places at your side to remind you that you're not alone on this journey, that there are always kindred spirits willing to walk with you. In many cases, this restructuring also affects the family and the couple. Your loved ones may not understand your process, and this can create distance or conflict. The key here is not to impose your truth or reject theirs, but to practice a balance between respect and authenticity. Loving someone doesn't mean remaining in dynamics that hurt your spirit. Sometimes, love also involves letting go and allowing each person to live their own path according to their own level of consciousness. The importance of this effect lies in what it teaches: the need to trust the natural flow of life. By letting go of what no longer resonates with you, you free yourself from the burden of maintaining forced relationships. At the same time, you give the universe permission to bring you authentic connections that nourish your growth. This effect is a test of faith because it forces you to leave behind what you know and open your heart to what has yet to arrive. Restructuring relationships is, in essence, a reminder that your spiritual journey is dynamic. You can't remain trapped in the old if your soul is already demanding the new. Every goodbye, however painful, is a preparation for a greater encounter, and every new bond that emerges in your life is a confirmation that you're moving toward a more authentic, higher web of love, more aligned with your true essence. Another powerful effect of spiritual ascension, one that is rarely discussed in depth, is emotional intensity. Suddenly, emotions that seem buried under layers of time or indifference resurface with tremendous force. You may experience waves of sadness, anger, fear, or even euphoria without any apparent cause. This emotional roller coaster doesn't mean you're losing control. Rather, your spirit is showing you what still needs healing. Every emotion that springs forth, it's like a trapped memory that demands to be released so you can continue lightly on your path. What happens is that ascension acts like a great light that illuminates your entire interior. That light not only highlights your beauty, your goodness, and your capacity to love, it also exposes unresolved wounds, old traumas, and patterns that still bind you to the past. That's why emotions come in waves, because your soul doesn't want you to continue moving forward carrying that weight. The key is not to resist or repress them, but to allow yourself to feel and understand the message each emotion brings. Healing doesn't mean denying, but rather embracing what hurts to transform it into wisdom. These emotional waves can be exhausting, but they are also a portal to greater freedom. Every time you release a trapped emotion, your energy field expands and your vibration rises. Thus, little by little, pain ceases to be an obstacle and becomes a purifying force. Therefore, even if it feels uncomfortable, emotional intensity is a blessing in disguise, a profound process that clears the old to make room for the new. The secret is to trust that what comes out is not coming to destroy you, but to free you. The other powerful effect that accompanies this process is the emergence of revelatory dreams, inner visions, and profound intuitions. Suddenly, you begin to have nighttime experiences so vivid that they seem more real than waking life itself. Dreams in which you receive messages, symbols, or even conversations with spirit guides. These visions aren't simple mind games. They're ways in which your soul and the universe are communicating with you to guide you through this stage of your life. Each revelatory dream is like a map that tells you what you should pay attention to or where you should go. Inner visions can also occur in the waking state. Intuitions that appear suddenly, mental images that seem unexplained, or feelings of déjà vu that confirm that you are connected to a higher plane of consciousness. These experiences can be disconcerting at first, but if you learn to listen to them, they become a powerful guide. It's as if your soul is speaking to you in a new language, full of symbols and metaphors that, little by little, you begin to decipher. If you've had strange dreams or visions lately, write "I experienced it" in the comments. Acknowledging these experiences not only validates your process, it also connects you with others who are experiencing the same thing. And sharing it is an act of courage because it helps break the silence of those who fear being judged for sharing their feelings. Remember that spiritual awakening is not a path of solitude, but a collective fabric where each experience strengthens the others. The combination of emotional intensity and inner visions is one of the most transformative aspects of ascension. On the one hand, it forces you to empty yourself of what hurts, and on the other, it fills you with new signs that guide you forward. It's a process of cleansing and revelation at the same time. You release what no longer belongs and receive messages that announce what is to come. Thus, life ceases to be a simple passing of time and becomes a journey guided by consciousness and intuition. Ultimately, although intense emotions may shake you and inner visions may confuse you, both effects are sacred tests that announce that you are moving forward. Spiritual ascension does not seek to destroy you. It seeks to mold you, prepare you, and remind you that you are much more than what your eyes can see. Let's see. Every tear shed and every revelatory dream are pieces of the same puzzle. Confirmation that your spirit is expanding toward new dimensions of understanding and love. One of the most intriguing and, at the same time, transformative effects of spiritual ascension is the shift in our perception of time and reality. Suddenly, your way of experiencing days, hours, and even seconds is altered. You may feel that time is accelerating and that what once seemed to last an eternity now passes in the blink of an eye. Or, conversely, you may experience that certain moments expand as if the clock has stopped to allow you to experience them more deeply. This phenomenon is not imagination. It is a natural consequence of the expansion of your consciousness. When your vibration changes, your way of relating to life also changes. Time stops feeling linear, rigid, and uniform. You begin to notice that in moments of deep spiritual connection, such as during a meditation or an encounter with true love, time seems to disappear. Minutes transform into hours, or sometimes hours feel like seconds. Conversely, in situations of endurance or pain, each moment can stretch on until it feels endless. This contrast reveals a truth that few people recognize. Time is not absolute. It is a relative experience determined by the state of your consciousness. Ascension leads you to discover that time is, in reality, an illusion created to organize the human experience. But when your spirit expands, you gain the perception that everything exists in an eternal present. Therefore, you become more aware of the importance of living here and now. You realize that worrying too much about the past or obsessively anticipating the future robs you of the richness of the present moment. This shift in perception becomes a gift because it teaches you to let go of unnecessary burdens and find fulfillment in simplicity. At this point, you begin to notice that your life is organized differently. You no longer run after the clock, but rather allow moments to happen more naturally. You become more aware that not everything has to be accomplished under the pressure of a date or a calendar. You learn to trust divine timing more than human timing, recognizing that what matters is not when things happen, but how they transform you when they happen. This detachment from rigid time gives you more calm and also more freedom. Another profound aspect of this shift is the way you perceive reality itself. The world is no longer seen as something fixed and unchanging, but as a set of possibilities that manifest based on your vibration. You may feel life speed up when you're in a creative or spiritual flow, and slow down when your energy needs you to observe, reflect, or integrate a lesson. This shift in perception makes you more aware of synchronicity, of those moments when everything seems to align as if an invisible force were guiding every step of your path. This effect can also cause some confusion at first. Feeling like the days are flying by can make you think you're losing control, while experiencing moments that stand still can make you question your perception. But far from being a problem, this phenomenon is an invitation to look beyond linear time and recognize that your soul lives in a different dimension, a dimension where everything happens simultaneously. What you experience is merely the translation of that truth into the human realm. Accepting this shift in perception of time and reality means embracing a new way of living. It means stopping obsessing over the when and starting to focus on the how. It means recognizing that life isn't about quickly accumulating experiences or waiting forever for what's next, but rather about being fully present in every moment. When you achieve this, you discover that it doesn't matter whether time passes or stands still. What matters is how you experience it as you move through it. In conclusion, This effect of spiritual ascension reminds you that time is not your enemy or your judge, but a mirror of your state of consciousness. The more awake you are, the lighter it becomes, the more presence you find, and the more real life feels. And when you understand this, you no longer live for the calendar but for your soul, which always dwells in the eternal now. Spiritual ascension is a continuous rebirth. It is not a single experience that comes and goes, but rather a constant process of transformation that repeats itself at different levels of your life. Each stage brings with it new challenges, new revelations, and new opportunities to growth. And while it may feel exhausting at times, the truth is that each ascension cycle is a confirmation that your spirit is expanding further, that your soul is aligning with higher frequencies, and that your purpose on earth is becoming clearer and brighter. Throughout this journey, we have explored 6 powerful effects that are rarely mentioned: energetic hypersensitivity, detachment from material things, relationship restructuring, emotional intensity, inner visions, and a shift in perception of time and reality. Each of these effects, though challenging, is a reminder that you're in the midst of a sacred process. They are not coincidences or meaningless symptoms. They are unequivocal signs that your consciousness is undergoing a profound shift that prepares you for a state of greater spiritual fulfillment. It's natural to feel fear or doubt in the midst of these experiences. You wonder if you're on the right path or if what you're experiencing has a purpose. But in these moments of uncertainty, you must remember something fundamental. These effects aren't obstacles. They're tests that prepare you for your greatest expansion. Every intense emotion, every transformed relationship, every strange perception of time are opportunities the universe places in your path to shape your spirit and open you to a higher dimension of yourself. Spiritual ascension never takes away anything essential to your evolution. On the contrary, it helps you let go of what no longer belongs, what limits your growth, what binds you to a version of yourself that has already expired. Yes, you may lose certain relationships, your goals may change, or your outlook on life may radically transform, but what comes next will always be more authentic, more aligned, and more powerful. That is true rebirth, not returning to what you were, but becoming what you were always destined to be. This path requires trust. Trust in yourself, in your soul, and in the divine intelligence that sustains the entire process. Ascension is not a punishment, it's a blessing disguised as a challenge. It reminds you that your spirit came to earth not only to survive, but to expand, to recognize its greatness, and to radiate light even in the midst of darkness. And when you courageously embrace this process, you stop resisting change and begin to flow with it, discovering that what seemed like a storm was, in reality, the beginning of a new dawn. Today, as you reach the end of this journey, I want you to remember that you are not alone. Thousands of souls around the world are going through similar processes, each with their own trials and tribulations. We are a network of awakened beings who, little by little, are raising the vibration of the planet. Your ascension not only transforms you, it also transforms the world around you. Every step you take toward your authenticity opens doors for others to also dare to awaken. If you've made it this far, write "I accept my ascension" in the comments. Subscribe and join us on this journey of consciousness. Because what we've shared today is not an end, but a new beginning. The best is yet to come, and your spirit is ready to shine brighter than ever. Spiritual ascension is the promise of constant rebirth, and you are living proof that this rebirth is possible.